Hello, Seka.
Look, Seka, baby kitty.
I don't care.
How could you not care? It's a baby kitty.
Because I have a theory. No one cares, baby kitty.
Look, I got 2 more.
Anyways, back to my theory.
You're a monster.
Everyone was talking about the Electro buff, but did you not notice the Elemental Mastery buff?
What? Okay. So MiHoYo put out a dev discussion about 5 days ago. And in their dev discussion, they were talking about some of the major changes that are going to be happening in the future. One of the biggest changes, of course, is the Electro buff that they're talking about and where that's going to happen. Some of the effects containing elemental reactions like the Viridescent Venerer set, also as well as the Thundering Fury sets that have elemental reactions that are too far away from the target won't actually occur. But one of the things they did talk about in this is they said that they were going to give an Electro buff. But one of the things that a lot of people didn't talk about is the elemental reactions that are going to be occurring with both Swirl and what the changes are really going to be. Now, there have been Twitter theories on this, and with images that are directly from MiHoYo, from the not beta server, that have been gotten through ill-gotten gains. So basically, what I'm saying here is that in this, elemental reactions are going to be a very different thing in 1.6. And one of the things about elemental reactions that a lot of people missed was going toward 1.6. Both the Viridescent Venerer set and the Thundering Furies 4 set bonus are set bonuses that have an elemental reaction base in them. What I mean by that is if you go into the Viridescent Venerer set and go to a character that has it, the 4-piece is going to increase swirl damage by 60%. The same can be said, of course, if you go over to the Thundering Fury set, where the superconduct damage is increased by 40%. You go into elemental reactions and talk about those and see what you really get out of them with 700 plus E energy recharge here, or elemental mastery. Swirl gets a big bump on this, whereas Electro Charge, Superconduct, and Overload do not from the 4-piece bonus. So what I thought was going to be really interesting is on a 4-piece bonus for the Thundering Fury set, we might actually get the set bonus buffed so that's closer to the Viridescent Venerer. The reason I think that might happen as well, because if you look at the melt reactions and how much energy, how much you get out of elemental reactions for melt bonus, etc., I think it's about 15% is about 80 elemental mastery. That's what it comes out to be. And for Electro Charge and Swirl, it's a little bit different, but seeing how the Viridescent Venerer set actually gets a 60% damage buff on Swirl and lowers elemental resistance, I thought that the Thundering Fury set and the Viridescent Venerer set might actually get reworked because of what they're saying in this segment here. In this segment, they said that they're going to pay attention to travelers utilizing various elemental reactions in combat, and in order to increase the role that elemental reactions play in combat, they plan to make following adjustments. They say that when characters are level 60 or higher, there's going to be increased damage from major reactions for Electric Charge, Superconduct, Overload, and Swirl, as well as Shatter. Shatters Cryo Hydro, and we use a physical or geo with it and just shatters it. So the base damage shield absorption for shields from crystals will be increased, and the damage bonus provided from elemental mastery from major reactions will be increased. And this refers to the panel in-game for the exact damage bonus amount. So what I was looking into for this is if those damage values are increasing, are the set bonuses also going to increase for both the Viridescent Venerer set and the Thundering Fury set, where you get a 40 and 60% respectively? So if they do increase and the set bonuses also get buffed, that would be a huge change for Electro and Animo characters. And I thought that since that the damage differences were very different there, but they get this, they're based on the same actual values from Elemental Mastery, the set bonuses might get reworked as well. So we'll see. I'm actually kind of curious if that's going to be coming in 1.6. All right, so if you're not already aware, there is some theories, not L words, about a character like shockingly similar to this guy that is coming out in 1.6. And what I wanted to know, based on a lot of information that I've seen on this character, since MiHoYo is going to be reworking Electro and trying to push that going forward, one of the elements of reactions I think they also might rework, because the next character that's coming out in 1.6 happens to look exactly like this and is actually almost exactly like this character that we all have. There might be an anima buff, question mark? So it might just be an ancillary anima buff where they're buffing elements of reactions, because they talked about it very, very briefly. And one of the reactions that I thought was really interesting to talk about was the hold E reaction from Traveler, where you're using an elemental swirl while you're holding out the E button. And the other thing that happens that's really similar to that is going to be Venti's ultimate ability, where it has an additional elemental damage proc where the damage over time comes in. And another one would, of course, be the elemental reactions from elemental damage from the Gust Surge. All of these things have weird effects that have not really been like super quantified, because the characters themselves are kind of just wonky in general. So overall, I'm actually kind of curious to see if Elemental Mastery will be a really superior build in 1.6. And if they start working toward Elemental Mastery builds for Anemo characters, for both Traveler, Venti, and potentially even, say, Sucrose, who is already an EM god, I was wondering to see if Sucrose would be a really top-tier character in 1.6. Because if they rework Elemental Mastery, and characters like Sucrose, who are already heavily utilizing this mechanic, can already do very well with this, the MES 1.6 character as of right now, just thinking about it objectively, if they rework elemental reactions and give people more damage from elemental reactions, is going to be Sucrose. And the reason she will be the best character, and a character I really think that a lot of players should build out at this point, and if you aren't building this character out and getting talents on this character already, I'd recommend farming it a little bit. Because I think Sucrose, since he's already got an Elemental Mastery build, like you saw in this video so far, with Viridis and Virner, will do really well. And if you don't know why, one of the passive talents for Sucrose is going to transfer Elemental Mastery. It's going to transfer a flat 50 Elemental Mastery when Sucrose triggers a swirl reaction. But whenever she uses her E ability or Q ability, she transfers 20% of her Elemental Mastery to other people. Now, the rumored character that's going to be coming out in 1.6 also can increase elemental damage and stuff by using Elemental Mastery. And one of the things they did change, MiHoYo removed the snapshotting effect from Elemental Mastery from Sucrose a while ago. I was trying to figure out exactly when. It was supposed to be around the Windbloom Festival and all that stuff, but I couldn't find it. I even pulled up the dev notes and I was looking through them, and I couldn't find the exact thing. But I remember them removing the ability to snapshot and lock a snapshot value of Elemental Mastery throughout the entire duration. So even though the snapshotting effect has been nerfed, those two characters are going to, Sucrose I think is still be very, very valuable, because be able to transfer the EM and be able to use a character that could be looking really, really similar to Traveler in 1.6, and it's just a better version of Traveler, and be able to use that character effectively. So another thing that was really interesting is Venti being able to use a really, really uncommon weapon, which is going to be the Elegy of the End. If you know what that weapon does, the Elegy of the End is a weapon that's a 5-star weapon that transfers Elemental Mastery and attack percentage. So I thought this was a really weird time to release the weapon, because Elemental Mastery was super, super weak at the time of this weapon's released. And because this weapon is coming out in this weapon will be good for 1.6, there have been other Elegy weapons or weapons of this series that are going to be released in 1.5 and potentially in 1.6, because the transfer weapons where you're transferring abilities might be really powerful in those patches. But we haven't gotten a one-hand sword version of this weapon yet, but we may get one for the 1.6 patch for this character. I don't know yet, but there may be also another weapon that may be coming in soon for Catalyst users that can do a similar thing. If you're not aware of this weapon, the best weapon for a lot of supporting characters that you use with Catalysts is going to be called the Thrilling Tales of the Dragon. If you don't know what that weapon is, it's a 3-star weapon. So when you switch characters, the new character taking the field actually increases the attack percentage of the next character that takes place by 24% and maximizes it 48%. It's a very powerful tool to boost one character's attack by a significant amount. And if you're looking to boost a character's damage, but also just transfer that damage to other characters, that's the only other weapon that you can use as an affordable one. But I wonder if they're going to start releasing more weapons that in like a free-to-play sense, where they're going to be available very similar to this for a character like Sucrose, like could be integrated in the story, or other characters that could use elemental reactions like Swirl or Electro reactions for like Lisa or whatever, because she's like the most underplayed character in the entire world. And I was hoping to see if they would change Catalyst to a point where we can actually get those transfers to work. All right, guys, my name's Sekapoko. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed the British Second Theory. Let me know you guys think if they're going to be changing Elemental Mastery and the rework for characters so that there might be like different weapon sets that could be coming out, or different characters or boosts for characters going forward for 1.6. Have a great rest of the day, guys. Peace.